Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Global Radio and TV Live, and I am your host, Dr. Ravi. The number to call is 469 307 1642. That number again is area code 469 307 1642. I would like to thank our viewers in the USA and also in the order of viewership in India, Morocco, Taiwan, Canada, Sudan, Japan, Ukraine, China, Korea, and Iraq. Now, of course, how do we know all these people are watching us or listening to us? Because we get emails and also get some information from our website. And if I have not mentioned your country's name, just let us know. We will also put your name up there. Well, no, I am my background. I am a pharmaceutical scientist, and I've been working in this field for the last 30 years. And in this particular forum, we discuss all kinds of subjects, including controversial topics, conspiracy theories, and as a scientist, I would like to see how scientifically many of these ideas are correct or incorrect or whatever the case may be. For example, we discussed in this particular forum existence of God, sighting of UFOs and aliens, JFK assassination, U.S. debt, and many different controversial topics. And there are always two extremes: firm believers on one side, and extreme skeptics on the other side, and the rest of them on the middle of that bell curve. Now, one such topic, now this may be controversial to somebody, and for somebody it is not. One such topic is the modern allopathic or modern medicine versus alternative medicines. Now, we are going to today discuss the potential and limitations of both sides, allopathic as well as alternate medicine. Some time back, some of you might remember there were some movement in the allopathic medicine or the modern medicine area that they were going to say that the homeopathy is a complete quackery and it should be banned because it's public health hazard. And of course, that didn't go very well at all, but for many different reasons. Now, I for one believe that there is not only one single solution for the human health problems. Modern medicine has its role to play, as well as alternative medicine, to improve the quality of human life. And today's guest in this regard is Dr. Kathy Gruver, who is an alternative healthcare specialist, and she has written a best-selling book. It's The Alternative Medicine Cabinet. Dr. Kathy Gruver, welcome to Global Radio and TV Live. Well, hold on, just 1 second. It seems to have, I'm unable to hear you, so just 1 second. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Well, there's always technical problems when the technology gets better and better every day. Okay, say hello there. Oh, yeah, still there seems to be a problem here. Let's see. Okay, now say hello. Okay, can you say hello there?
How about now?
Oh, perfect. Very good. All right, now let's get going on this. Doctor, welcome to Global Radio and TV Live. Tell our audience what is your experience, expertise, and background, and how long have you been involved with alternative medicine, and what makes you an expert in this area? Can you hear me? Kathy, can you hear me now? No?
Oh, there you are.
Okay, can you hear me now? There seems to be a problem here. Kathy, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. My question was, um, how long have you been involved in the alternative medicine? What is your background, and what makes you the expert in this field?
Oh, you cut out again.
Cut out again? Okay.
I heard the first part of the question.
Okay. Okay. Let's start with that. Let's go get the conversation started.
Okay, perfect. Well, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I started doing massage about 22 years ago, and that was my first introduction into the alternative. My mom died when I was 18 of very, very bad cancer, and she went through chemo and radiation and multiple surgeries. And even back then, I remember thinking, wow, isn't there something else for her? But back in Pittsburgh in the 80s, there just really weren't a lot of options. So she ended up passing away when she was 46 years old, which is way too young. And it definitely sparked my interest in all things alternative. So after I started learning about massage, I realized that people were turning to me for healthcare questions. They were asking about their uncle's heart disease and their kid's
Right.
autism and what about this blood test and what is this pharmaceutical. And I felt like I needed to know more and more so that I could help them. So I started studying more. I have always been an avid reader, so I was reading tons of medical books and uh, ended up going back to school, and I got my doctorate as a traditional naturopath, and I got my master's and PhD in natural health. And I've been to Harvard a couple times studying mind body medicine, and I do a lot of their continuing ed, and I've done some continuing ed with National Institutes of Health. And anything I can do to expand my knowledge so that I can help educate other people. And right now I'm actually finishing up my hypnotherapy licensing. So I'm all over the place, but I figure the more I know, the more I can help people and answer questions like you're going to ask about how alternative medicine can play a role. So I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, okay, very good. So coming back to alternative medicine, you said that
Hmm.
you had some experience um, just now
Oh, I just
started.
lost you again.
You lost me again, huh? All right, I don't know why that is. Okay, how about now?
There you go.
Okay, you said that you had some experience in hypnotherapy. Is that
Hmm.
something that you started very recently?
Yeah, I just started that. I am about halfway through my program and I'm really excited about it. I still have a massage practice and it's a really great addition to what I do with my massage. And I'm going to specialize in pain management, pre and post op, and some anxiety and stress. I really don't have any desire to help smokers. I mean, not that I don't have a desire to help smokers, but I don't think that's what I want to focus on with my hypnotherapy. Is I really want to focus on pain, stress, and pre and post op, which is what I'm doing now in my practice anyway. So it'll be a perfect addition.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Now, there has been a lot of questions about the role of alternative medicine.
Hmm.
There are a lot of skeptics. Okay. Now, the most important question that comes to my mind is the quality of life or the life expectancy.
Hmm.
Now, we know for sure uh, modern medicine has helped to improve certain quality of life. Correct?
Hmm.
Now, what is your role? What is your idea? Do we have to, there is always people saying that, we can continue with the current, we can continue with the alternative medicine. There is no need for modern medicine.
Ooh,
Is that
I completely disagree with that.
right?
No, I think I'm one of those middle of the road people, and everybody assumes because I'm into alternative medicine and natural medicine, and I prefer to say complementary alternative medicine,
Right,
integrative. I want to see them used together,
right,
and I think people who take one end of it completely to the exclusion of the other, I think they're using a hammer for everything rather than picking up a screwdriver.
right.
And I think we have to find some place where the two meld. And you know skeptics of alternative medicine. Well, which alternative medicine? I mean, are you talking about chiropractic, massage, acupuncture, Ayurveda, foot baths? You stick your feet in, and theoretically your
Right.
toxins are going out. I'm actually a huge skeptic of a lot of things too. And every year I walk around my naturopath conference and I look at all these new gadgets and gizmos and I listen to the sales pitch and don't I want to make tens of thousands of dollars,
Yes.
basically duping clients. And I have no interest in that. So I think we need to use our heads with it, and if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And really look at how we can incorporate both Western and the complementary alternative. I think we have to just be smart about what we're doing.
Okay. So, what are the areas of alternative medicine you think are most helpful, and what
Mhm.
areas just not so helpful or probably, snake oil?
Yeah, I'm actually a huge fan of homeopathics. I have seen them work with children. I have seen them work with pets,
Yep.
and people who say it's just the placebo. Okay, but a 2-year-old and a cat, they don't understand they don't they're not going to respond to the placebo. They don't have a brain that works that way. I have seen homeopathics work incredibly well with myself, and I have done not double blind because placebo controlled trials on that, but I've seen homeopathics work with myself, with my family, when they didn't really know what I was giving them. They didn't know what to expect from it.
Right.
They were just open to trying it. So I'm a big fan of that. But it doesn't work for everybody. And that's, nor does Western medicine work for everybody. I love using herbs. I think that's sort of a last choice. I want to see people eliminate things that are causing problems first. And that's where I disagree with Western medicine is they seem to want to pile more things on top of symptoms rather than getting to a root cause. And one of the things that
Yeah.
integrative medicine,
Yeah.
complementary alternative medicine wants to do,
Yes.
hopefully,
Hmm.
is get to the root of the problem. Massage is incredibly useful. I have kept people out of surgeries and off of pain meds because of massage. My chiropractor keeps me standing upright. I'm incredibly active. I dance 5 days a week. I do flying trapeze for fun. I need my chiropractor. So, acupuncture is great for certain things. It just depends on what is ailing you, and how open you are to trying things. I think a lot of the gadgets I don't trust a lot. They're incredibly expensive. They're a huge investment as a practitioner. They're very expensive as a treatment. And depending on what the gadget is, I don't know. I've not seen a huge effect from some of them. The whole foot bath thing drives me crazy. And there's the same guy every year at my naturopath conference, and five people sitting there with their feet in soapy water saying all the toxins are coming out. Well, that's physiologically impossible. If you think about it for just a minute, it doesn't work. And stuff like that bugs me because it's bringing down the whole of alternative medicine, with things that they're clearly not working. So that kind of drives me crazy.
Okay. Well, something else I digged up on you. All right, here it is. Let's take a look at this. Tell me, Kathy, how did you end up on Times Square?
Oh, it was so exciting. I do a lot of media. I've been in a lot of magazines, a lot of radio and TV shows, and I get a lot of my queries through an organization called ProfNet, and they were looking for success stories. So I wrote to the gal and I said, I interviewed for a big website called health.com, and then that article got picked up by time.com, and it was on foxnews.com, and it was translated into like 25 languages, most of which I couldn't even tell you what they were. And she said, what a great success story. We'd like to use you this week, and then you'll be entered to win a spot on our billboard in Times Square. And I thought, oh, come on, there's so many people, like they're really going to pick me. So I wrote back and I answered her questions, and I said, oh, and by the way, it's a childhood dream of mine to be on a billboard in Times Square. So let me know when I should fly out and see it. Wink, wink.
Okay.
And a couple of days later, she wrote back and said, your blog post is up. Congratulations. And yeah, you're right. Your picture's going to look great in Times Square. And I went, okay, wait, what? She didn't wink, wink. Is she serious? You can't possibly joke about something like that. So I emailed her back and said, just to clarify, am I going to be in Times Square? And they selected me. I won that month. So it was amazing. It was so cool. I didn't get to fly out and see it. I'm in California, but I've got that fabulous photo, and believe me, I'm showing that to everybody. I'm gonna have a T-shirt made.
Really unbelievable. So, and something else you said, you are also a trapeze
Hmm.
actor.
Yeah.
And where is that website? Do you know where would I find that?
If you go to youtube.com/Dr. Kathy Gruver, you can see video of me trapezing, which is kind of fun. But yeah, it's a trapeze school. This started in New York, and they're nationwide. And there's one in Santa Monica, California, which is about 2 hours south of me.
Right.
And I go down 2 or 3 times a month and I do flying trapeze. And it's so amazing and it's so much fun. And it started out as just one of those things I thought, oh, I'll do it once. It's one of those things I've always wanted to do. And it's now been a year and a half, and I think I'm to a point I can actually call myself a trapeze artist because I'm pretty darn good at it
Really?
for being an old gal.
My goodness. Okay. So let's see if we can find that trapeze. Okay, here it is. Here's I found one. Let's take a look at this. Is that
Oh, that's
yours?
a good one. Yeah, that's a good
Okay,
one.
let's take a look. Unbelievable! Wow, that's incredible. So that who you are on the right side because I could not figure out who is who.
Yeah, I'm the one doing the split and getting caught. So it's a 2 hour class. They have a maximum of 10 people, and some are it's their very first class, and some they've been doing it even longer than me. And you work towards whatever trick you're working on, and the last half hour you get to try two catches. So it's pretty incredible. And I'm doing that's such an easy trick now compared to what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm doing some really complicated stuff now.
Like what? Like what? Like this one here? Let's take a look. Is that a difficult one? Set split with
It's
catch.
about the same level as the other one.
Oh, really?
It's pretty.
Are you are oh, okay?
I get such a kick out of watching those.
There you go.
Good
That's
job,
just
lovely. Victory!
all right.
And scene.
You see, that's pretty amazing. So now you see, this gives a lot of credibility to what you are practicing. You are preaching what you are practicing. In other words,
Yep.
you are able to do a trapeze act. That's simply because you didn't pop a bunch of ibuprofen pills. Instead, you did whatever you are supposed to do. Correct?
Right, and one of the other things that I love about doing the trapeze is it's kind of safe risk taking. You know, you're about 35 feet in the air, and I've taken people who are terrified of heights, who have a fear of falling, and I said, you know, that's two of the three things you're going to be doing, right? I said, you climb up high and then you fall. It's encouraging people to get out of their comfort zone and to try different and new things, and that's to me the other thing about alternative medicine is try it. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't like it, if it doesn't feel good, then don't
Yes.
do it again. It's probably not going to kill you. There's typically no side effects or very few. It's one of those low risk things, especially like with homeopathics or certain herbs, and massage feels good. Give it a shot. See if you like it.
All right. Very good. Kathy, can we take a quick break for a couple of minutes?
Absolutely.
During this break, we are going to play one of your videos and let the audience take a look at what else you are up to.
Sounds
Ladies and
good.
gentlemen, you are listening to Global Radio and TV Live, and I am your host, Dr. Ravi, and you are also listening to our featured guest, Kathy Gruver, who has written the book, The Alternative Medicine Cabinet. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Global Radio and TV Live. I am your host, Dr. Ravi. You are listening to our featured guest, Kathy Gruver. Kathy, welcome back to our second segment.
Thanks.
All right. Hey, listen, I think you like music because I see that a lot of music involved in your videos.
Hmm.
What kind of music do you like?
Everybody assumes I listen to the really soothing, relaxing stuff I play in my office all day. No, no, I'm a hip hop kind of hard rock girl, so
Oh,
it's a little opposite of what people assume. People have a lot of assumptions about me as a natural health practitioner, and most of them are wrong. So it's actually kind of funny.
hey, by the way, then when we started the show, I was playing some music, and I noticed you were dancing to it. Did you like that?
Oh yeah,
Did you like that music?
I did like anything I can dance to. I don't care if it's 1950s swing or ball. It's I just want something I can move to. And you should see me in my car. It's ridiculous. I'm
Is it?
constantly bopping around. People must think I'm having a seizure or something. I constantly move. I just want to move. I can't sit still.
Did
So
you like
people
that
when
music? Because I want to ask you something. Did you like that
yes.
music? You know,
I,
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't seek out music typically unless I'm dancing to it. So I don't know a lot about music. I don't know a lot about pop culture. I just know it because I hear it in dance class, and I do hip hop. So the music isn't always socially pleasant, let's say. But I just like to move to it.
Well, I just want to let you know. See, this is our show is usually a musical show,
Really?
and that was from the 1950s Bollywood music. That's what you were
Oh,
here listening.
oh, very cool. I had no idea.
Anyway, people like that music, so I said, well, we will make that as our theme music. That's why I played that music.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's
And it's
just
and you can dance to it, so that's good.
you can dance to it. Yes, exactly. Let's back to one controversial topic. I think you should be able to throw some light on this.
Mhm.
Colon cleansing. Now, if you
Mm,
go back and look at this, there are two sides to this, and this is the controversy I was talking about.
right.
Do you know the FDA, Mayo Clinic, American Cancer Society, WebMD? I read through all of those because this seems to be a big practice there that they are using for colon cleansing. Now, all of them are saying that the colon cleansing is only useful for doing preparing the colon for colonoscopy, and it has no other use. What is your opinion on it?
I'm a fan. You're talking like of colonics specifically,
Yes,
going and
colonics.
actually having a colonic. I used to have 2 or 3 a year. And I'll give you a personal example, and you can tell me if you think it's worth it or not. I eat very well. I exercise a lot. I have good mind-body connection, so I don't let stress get to me. I have ways of releasing my stress. I have 1 to 2 very healthy bowel movements every day, and I went for a colonic. And
Okay.
I had taken some herbal colon cleanse the night before, and I woke up that morning and I had 3 or 4 gigantic bowel movements. And I thought, oh, I mean, there's nothing left in me. I've got to be totally clear. I go for the colonic. She happened to have a scale in the room, and I had seen this woman before, didn't think about it, but I jumped on the scale and I weighed myself, and I got off the scale and I weighed myself again, and it was the same, just to make sure. I had the colonic. I, you know, lots came out. I got back on the scale afterwards and I was 2 pounds lighter.
Wow.
And that's me being a healthy person who had already had an enormous amount of bowel movements that morning before the colonic.
Wow.
Um, I, and when I've heard doctors, I actually had an argument with a doctor about this. I love arguing with doctors. If I know how to, if I know the subject. And he was saying something about how colonics were bullcrap, and I said, well, it's ironic you use that term. Uh, he said, the colon cleanses itself, and you never need to do that, and it's clean. And I said, well, if that's true, then why before a colonoscopy does the person have to do this massive cleansing for 24 hours? If we're doing it regularly on our own, then it should be clean, and they wouldn't need to do that. And he just kind of stared at me and he didn't have a good answer. Um, you know, I have heard tales of people having 15 to 30 pounds of feces in their body. They say the average is 5 to 15 pounds, and this is one of the reasons why we have this distended abdomen and we're so toxic because we're not cleansing properly. And I look at our Western diet, and, we have a lot of refined foods, a lot of processed carbohydrates. And I don't know if you did this in your culture. When we were in school, in grade school, we would make paste. Well, what did you make paste out of? Flour and water.
Hmm.
Well, what do you think we're eating? It's all this, this stuff that gunks up our system. And I think if you drink enough water and you exercise properly and you're getting enough fiber and you're eating a whole food diet, well, who's doing all that? I think every once in a while having a colonic is a healthy thing. I think people get overboard with it. I don't think you should do tons of them because then I believe your body kind of forgets how to do it itself. Um, I had a client who was incredibly ill. She was so sick. And she was put on all these antibiotics, and she was a teeny little girl. They way over antibioticed her. She started to get incredibly ill. She went for a colonic,
Uh-huh.
and the woman who did the colonic, she had been doing them for like 50 years. You watch everything go through a tube in certain systems, and the woman who was performing the colonic stopped the tube and went, "Oh my goodness."
Oh.
She had a massive amount of parasites,
Oh.
and the doctors hadn't found them. So, had this woman not gone for a colonic with a qualified person, let's add that to anything we're talking about, is you want to go to a
Right.
qualified, highly trained person, this woman basically saved her life.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, I think in moderation, just like anything else, and again, it's not going to be for everybody, and does everybody need it? I didn't even know that I needed it until I lost 2 pounds during one and went, oh, geez, what about people who aren't as healthy as me?
So you would certainly think that there is a definite role for the colonic, colon cleansing to play a role in people's health, and
Yeah, I think there is. I think we're living in a very toxic society, and we're just not having the bowel health that I think we should.
hmm.
A lot of
Okay.
us.
Okay. Very good. Now, when did you write this book, the Alternative Medicine Cabinet?
I finished that book in 2010, and it's so funny. I was watching the video you played on the break, and it said published author, and now I can say multi-award-winning author because I've come out with 3 books since then. I'm working on my next one, and yeah, I'm so excited about still the Alternative Medicine Cabinet. It is such a great compendium of health information, and it covers everything from Reiki and homeopathics and healthy pregnancy, cancer, stress, mind-body medicine, nutrition. It's my friend called it a great bathroom book because it's got short little chapters so you can pick it up and you get a little pearl of wisdom no matter where you open it to. So,
Okay. You said that you received a number of awards
mhm.
since 2010. Can you tell our audience what those are?
Yeah, absolutely. For the Alternative Medicine Cabinet, I was a winner of the Beverly Hills Book Awards, and I was a finalist for the Indie Excellence Awards. And then my most recent book on stress, Conquer Your Stress with Mind Body Techniques, was also a winner of the Beverly Hills Book Awards. So I've taken the category 2 years in a row. I better hurry up with my other book so I can win next year too. It also won the Indie Excellence Awards. It was a finalist for the USA Best Book Awards, and it was selected one of the top 50 reads by this big international book club. So it's been really exciting, and every little sticker I put on is just yet another validation that people enjoy what I'm writing, and that it's useful to them. And that's to me the point. I want to make people laugh. I want it to be fun. I want it to be easy to understand. Like I said, I have a sensitive BS meter, so I want to. If there's something that I think doesn't work, I mention it in my book. I talk about it. I just want people to have good, solid information.
Okay. You talked about the things that work and things that doesn't work.
Mhm.
Now tell our audience, let's go back and things that doesn't work so that they don't waste their money and effort on it and then concentrate on
Right.
things that will work. What are the things that doesn't work?
Yeah, I mean, again, the foot bath thing to me does not work.
Okay.
I sat in that with my feet in that water and I looked down and saw this scummy stuff look like soap scum. And I reached down to touch it and the guy goes, "No, no, 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 nope, you don't want to touch that." And I said, yeah, I do. I said, "So what do you think this is?" And he said, "It's yeast."
Hmm.
I said, "Really? It's candida?" And he said,
Candida.
"Yes." And I said, "So systematic candida that's in my body just came out of my feet?" And he goes, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I actually just did a 2-week candida cleanse." I said, "And I just had a dark field microscope scan that showed no candida. And so that's not the soap off my feet. That's not the lotion I put on my legs. That's not the residue from my shower. That's not my feet have been sweating all day." And he goes, "Nope. Well, maybe a little bit." And I said, "So you're telling me that systemic toxins are coming out of the bottoms of my feet?" I said, "How is that physiologically possible?" And this poor man, he didn't know what to do with me. But I'm going to challenge that. And I saw practitioner after practitioner walking out the door with a $700 machine. If you want to relax and put your feet in soapy water, fill up your bathtub and sit in it at home for free. I think it's a crock of crap. No one has been able to prove to me it works. Same thing with the patches that
Hmm.
you put on the bottom of your feet. You can't get toxins out of the bottom of your feet. It's not even logical. And I bought a bunch because I wanted to experiment. And you wake up you're supposed to put them on overnight, and you wake up in the morning and they get brown and they smell funny. And I thought, this is really weird. Like, what is doing this? And I realized that one morning, one of my feet, it was brown and wet and, gunky, and the other one was perfectly dry and clean the way I put it on. And I realized that I tend to sleep with one foot out of the covers.
Ah,
It was a humidity thing.
right.
And they actually did an experiment on one of the big news networks. I can't remember, ABC, NBC, one of those, where they took those patches and they actually just held them over a steaming pot. And they looked like they had, quote, absorbed toxins out. It was a heat thing. It was a complete, so don't waste your money on those things either. The herbal patches that suck the toxins out. Things like that. I don't think they work.
Hmm.
If you want to spend your money on it, you can. I have had cancer patients who have spent thousands of dollars on what seems to me to be kind of fringe treatment. And, I totally understand that when you've been given a diagnosis that you're terminal and Western medicine goes, "Hey, there's nothing else for you," that you want to seek other things out. And I hope what you're seeking out is done to you from a place of health and wellness and ethics. But I know there are a lot of people out there that want to take advantage. And the problem with this is I believe we should have medical freedom. If you want to stick your feet in bubbly water, even though I think it's stupid, you should be able to, just like I should be able to have homeopathics because some people think that's stupid. So, I don't know where to draw the line with that. It's not an easy answer.
Well, you see, when people saying something is not correct or doesn't have enough evidence, now you talked very briefly about the double-blind crossover studies.
Yeah, placebo.
Okay,
Yeah.
so most of the problem that comes with no peer review of many of the claims that were made by alternative medicine or other areas. Especially, you also said that in terms of homeopathy, there is no, you have seen it working for some people,
Hmm.
but some people it doesn't work. And and my point is that I always wanted to make this is this. Um, in if you go back and look at the human life in the last 200 years, only after the modern medicine came up with all those important drugs that our human life increased from, say, 40 or 50 years to now it's almost doubled. Now, if you look at that and say, okay, if all these other medicines were so great and so good, the insurance company should pay for them. The FDA or the government should regulate and make them part of the insurance program so that they get paid. And and if they're really that good, the modern medicine or other medicine will be gone because there's no role for them.
Hmm.
I come from a country where Ayurvedic medicine was big, you know,
Hmm.
and Ayurvedic medicine, in my opinion, you know, is not that great because when the last 2,000 years Ayurvedic medicine was practiced in India and surrounding countries, their lifespan was only 40 to 50 years, or even worse. Only when the Western medicine came into through the British to the Indian population after the penicillin came, the lifespan starting to go up. Okay, so if they had stuck with Ayurveda and they say, well, suppose let's assume the Indian government after the British Raj was over decided that, well, we will not allow this Western medicine corrupt our people, and all Indians today will be dying at the age of 40 because that's how it is. There is nothing else for them to do. So considering that fact, how far do we therefore well, you already said, which is very good news because you already said, hey, I'm not going to reject modern medicine, but but at the same time, the modern medicine is got to the stage where the governments and the regulatory bodies and insurance companies are approving them simply because they were able to do just the four-letter phrase that you used, that is the double-blind crossover trials. Now, since there is no such double-blind crossover trials in terms of alternative medicine, homeopathy, Ayurveda, and other local medical therapies, they were not able to get the approval and the acceptance from the scientific community. So how do we go about making sure that the alternative medicine? See, for example, you as an alternative medicine specialist, are you allowed to practice by the government as a doctor?
No. And I actually hope that a lot of this stuff isn't approved by insurance and the government because
Oh,
I don't like what the regulations have done.
okay.
Um, and one of the reasons, I mean, and I did a talk at Antioch University here in town. I was talking about homeopathics, and this kid raised his hand and he said, "If it's so great, why is it not tested? Why you're telling me all these things about anecdotal? I want to see placebo-controlled double-blind studies." And I said, "Do you know what homeopathics cost?" And he looked at me and he said, "No." And I said, "I can get a tube of homeopathics for $6." I said, "Who's paying for that study?" I said, "There is not the huge amount of profit that you're getting at a pharmaceutical industry for a homeopathic." I said, "A lot of these are still family owned companies." I said, "Who is funding this study?" I said, "That's one of the problems." I said, "And when a study is funded, the person who funds it is trying to prove that it doesn't work. It's the pharmaceutical companies studying it." There's a lot of studying going on of alternative medicine. The National Institutes of Health right now is looking at a lot of complementary alternative medicine. They're studying acupuncture, a bunch of different herbal therapies. And, I love what Western medicine has done. They are great for um, heroic medicine. I'm glad we have
Heroic medicine.
antibiotics. I'm glad
Yes.
we have surgeries. If I have a gunshot wound, I would like a doctor and not an herb. But for these diseases that are killing us now. They don't have a good solution yet for cancer. We still have tons of heart disease because people are smoking, they're eating horrible diets, they're not exercising. We have this huge obesity crisis. Western medicine's not doing a darn thing for that. And if you look at complementary alternative medicine in a guise of lifestyle medicine, of going back to eating whole organic food, drinking enough pure water, cutting out the soda, getting rid of all this fake food, then we're going to be able to live longer too. So I think it's a combination of, I'm so glad we have antibiotics, though they're starting to not work. We're seeing, we've overused the antibiotics. So now the pendulum has swung the other way. So I think if we keep using Western medicine for what it's good for, which is disease management, and we use the integrative medicine for lifestyle health, then I think we're gonna have the best of both worlds. It's if the U.S. government can combine the best of Republicans and Democrats, maybe make a decision on something. I think it's all about teamwork and working together, whether it's in the government or in our healthcare. And I'm not going to give up my vitamins, but I'm also not going to give up my antibiotics. So we should have the right to have both, and I hope they continue to be available to us so that we can get the best of both worlds.
That's a very interesting point because you are saying that the Republicans and the Democrats can they work together? They're not working together very well at all. But I think in terms of an individual decision or choice to combine the alternative medicine with the allopathic or modern medicine is not a is a pretty good idea. It's an excellent idea. I also feel that when it comes to alternative medicine, I think the alternative medicine is much more useful in terms of preventing these diseases in the first place. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that's so great. And that's one of the places where, the allopathic medicine has missed the mark. They don't talk about prevention. They don't want to see you until you've got a diagnosis code that they can deal with. And I think that's a big mistake. And, I'm glad my dad can inject his insulin, and I'm glad he had his bypass surgery. But had he done things 15 years ago, he might not have needed that. So I think we have to start looking at the now, get to know our bodies, and make healthy choices so that we don't need all these treatments. And I see, I'm in Santa Barbara, California, where, we're all so beautiful here. Everybody's fit and healthy, and it's so exercise oriented. I still see so much obesity in even in California, and we're thought to be, kind of the healthiest state. We have to start taking steps to make sure that doesn't happen. And in your introduction, you were talking about conspiracy theories in the government. And, don't get me started on food subsidies and genetically modified foods and, why we're funding the cheapest packaged and processed foods, because that's what we're feeding everybody. And it's contributing to a huge problem, but there's a huge profit. So if there's an alternative cure for cancer, how many people is that going to put out of business? How many cancer centers, how many pharmaceutical companies, how many surgery centers, how much chemo, how much radiation? So I would love to say, hey, there's a cure for cancer. I don't know that it's coming because it's such an individual thing and it's such a profit maker. And I hate to say that because I would hate to think that anyone is taking advantage of sick people. But if you look at some of the systems we have, they're taking advantage of sick people, both
Absolutely.
allopathic and alternative, and that just sickens me, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. These allopathic medicine, while they are good for treating heroic failures in human subjects, gunshot wounds like what you talked about. You also talked about cancer or other bypass surgeries. And yeah, of course, they completely miss the mark, like what you said. They're not talking about nutrition. They're not talking about exercise and other methods. You said that I was reading some of your work, and you are a big believer in massage. So tell our audience why you are such a big believer in massage, and is it really helpful for some or more patients?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I have a soft place in my heart for massage because that's how I started doing this. I mean, I started when I was about 5. I would sit behind my dad on long car trips and rub his neck so he wouldn't get headaches.
Ah,
In high school, everyone would plop down in front of me and say, "Can you just rub here? You're so good at it." I always had an inclination to do that. And I have seen it help during labor. I've seen it help with end of life. I've seen it help pain with cancer patients. And I have a client right now who finished up very, very radical cancer treatment. And he had esophageal cancer. They took part of his tongue, they took half his jaw, they did all this reconstruction. And I have been helping him swallow and talk.
wow.
you know, um, I've seen people with horrible back pain not need surgery because I was able to help them with massage. There's been a lot of things that I've been able to do with the very basic put my hands on someone's body. It's relaxing. It helps lower blood pressure. It helps release feel good hormones in the brain. It feels good. Sports injuries, shoulder problems, neck problems, and I've seen a lot of people leave their stress behind and they actually look like a completely different person when they leave my office. And that's my objective. I want to get to the root of the problem and I want to help them get rid of it. And I do deep tissue trigger point work. I don't do fluffy spa massage. You don't walk out just feeling slimy and sleepy. I really want to help the person affect change in their body. And massage is great. Not everyone likes it. Not everybody finds a good practitioner, which is a huge challenge. And in this country, we still have a lot of really bad in this town. We still have a lot of really bad massage practitioners. There's still sex associated with massage in a lot of places, and that drives me crazy. So find a good practitioner and see if it'll work for you, because I've seen a lot of really great results from it.
So, in other words, um, the sex is associated with massage, you were telling. So the best place to get a massage is in a mall, so that it's open and nobody can question it. The
Well,
intention of
the problem with that is you have to wonder where they studied, and
they
there are a
haven't
lot of
studied anywhere. They
places.
studied at the mall.
If they say they started at the mall, the mall massage school, yeah, I'm gonna say pass on that.
Oh, okay.
You want to go to a practitioner that knows what they're doing, and in this country also we have a lot of foreigners doing massage, which I have no problem with, except
They're not
were they
trained,
trained and they don't speak English. So if you have a problem, you can't communicate with them.
right?
Find someone who really knows what they're doing because they can't hurt you. I've done expert witness work where people have been majorly injured from a massage therapist that didn't know what they were doing. So do your homework on that.
Okay. Now coming back to, we have to take a quick break here, and we will take a short break. And ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Global Radio and TV Live, and our featured guest is Dr. Kathy Gruver. Her book is The Alternative Medicine Cabinet. Now, in her write-up, I found something very interesting. She said she's a former actress. So let's find out when we come back what type of acting she did, and let's see if we can find some video of hers. Okay, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy, please stay on the line.
Well, you're out to change a lot of those misconceptions with your book, Kathy.
So we're talking about this healthcare crisis and how much money is being spent on healthcare and these diseases that we can't manage, and the majority of them are related to stress and our reaction to that stress.
And that calms our nervous system, it readies our brain for higher functioning, shuts down that stress response, and it slows the genetic effects of aging.
You follow the money trail and you see that the man who makes his paycheck from convincing you that something's true is not going to admit it's false. So we have to be really aware of where we're getting our research.
This isn't a job to me. This is a passion to be able to share this knowledge with people and help them make the changes in their lives that they want to make.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Global Radio and TV Live. And Kathy, so let's get back to your acting career. So when did you act? Where did you act?
I started acting when I was in fifth grade. All this stuff goes back to childhood.
Okay.
In fifth grade, I stepped on stage for the first time in the, very phenomenal Christmas Toy Story production in my grade school, and I was totally hooked. I started dancing when I was barely able to walk. My mom strapped tap shoes to my feet. So I was always in front of people, but the acting thing hit me hard. So I acted all through high school, all the shows. I did a lot of community theater. I majored in theater at Point Park University in Pittsburgh. Go Steelers. And that's how I
Okay.
got to California. I moved to California to pursue that acting career. So I was in Hollywood for 9 years. I did tons of theater, some national commercials, a little bit of independent film. I directed shows. I produced shows. I wrote shows that were produced, and did a lot of improv. So when I moved to Santa Barbara, which is where I am now, I let the acting thing go. There's not tons of theater up here that interested me, and it was a choice at that point of, do I pursue this career as a healer or do I still try to fiddle with the acting thing? And there are times I really miss being on stage, but as you showed in that video clip, I'm on stage all the time, and I love making people laugh, and I want to make my lectures and my shows, down to earth and funny, because anyone can sit in front of you and go blah 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 health blah. I want to make it fun and exciting and a little more youthful. So I have my own TV series. So the book, The Alternative Medicine Cabinet, was turned into a TV series, which they're reorganizing the network, and we're hoping the show is on the air very soon. It'll be a national show.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and it was that opportunity to get in front of the camera, and thank God I'm good with the teleprompter, and you know, educate people about different options for their health.
Perfect. So you said that you are now living in California. I found everybody in California is all beautiful. I wonder
Yeah.
why that is. Because they are more conscious of their health, and they are practicing good alternative medicine and eating right and doing exercise. Is that what it is?
Well, and I think one of the reasons, yeah, and I was stunned when I got to California from Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh's a little not as healthy state, let's say, or a city. But yeah, I got to California, and everybody is beautiful. I think because it attracts a lot of people who want to, at least in Hollywood, a lot of people who are in the performance business, so they want to stay beautiful. But because of our weather, you can be outside all the time. So we have access to phenomenal produce, fabulous farmers markets. It's sunny, you can be outside all the time. We've got the beach, people are into swimming, and it's a fitness kind of state. But then you get a little farther north, you get into like the Central Valley, and it's not as much. And then you get back up to San Francisco. It's funny that they want to actually try to turn California into five separate states, which of course will never happen, because there really are kind of five separate states here, maybe three. But where I am here in Santa Barbara, we've got a couple of universities, so we have a lot of young, fit people. And I don't know, it's just kind of the mentality of California, I think, because it's sunny all the time. We have to be in shorts, so we better look good.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, you talked, I was looking at your website, and there was the main book that you talked about is this. Now, tell us about the other books.
Yeah, Conquer Your Stress with Mind Body Techniques came out last year, and it is a buffet of options for dealing with stress. And the dissertation that I wrote for my PhD was all about mind body medicine and how our words and thoughts and intentions actually affect our physiology. So I focused a lot on meditation, visualization, affirmations, focused thought, basically that kind of thing, how our language affects our body. Found some really phenomenal studies, and I didn't want that to be stuck in a dissertation that only five people read, so I turned it into a book. I needed to share this knowledge with more people, and then I went on to add, gosh, probably about 50 other techniques that people can do, and some of them you can do yourself. It's that self-care thing, and sometimes you need to seek out a practitioner. But one of the things I wanted to do is give options to everybody. So I talk about a lot of stuff, everything from chakra healing to crystal healing to using colors, sound, meditation, prayer, um, acupuncture, aromatherapy, and I had somebody say, oh, well, I don't believe in, fill in the blank. And he didn't want to buy the book. And I said, well, there's 2 pages on that out of 160. I said, if you go to a buffet and they have green beans and you don't like green beans, do you leave the restaurant? No, you
No,
skip the green beans. I
right.
said, I'm not telling you you have to do everything. I said, I don't believe necessarily everything I put in there, but I wanted to give people options. Um, my mother-in-law, I have a section on past life regression therapy because I've seen that do really great things for people and their phobias and their stress. And I don't care if you're making it up. It's the story you had to tell to get through that stressful event, right? And my mother-in-law, she's very, very Christian. She read the book, and of course she goes, I didn't like that section on that past life thing. And I said, that's okay. I said, did you like the section on prayer? And she goes, yes. I said, okay, well, you do that one then. It's like I just want to give people options. I wanted to explain a lot of the stuff too, because a lot of people don't know what, like Reiki. They've heard of it, but they don't know what it is, or they don't really know the different types of yoga or what Tai Chi is, some of the benefits. So I really did quite a bit of research to make sure I gave a good, well-rounded option for people if they're dealing with stress. And I've got a lot of really great comments on the book, and like I said, it won 3 awards. So clearly I'm doing something right.
Absolutely, yes. Now, when you are going to give interviews or talk about your subject matter, I see that you have appeared on CNN, Prevention Magazine, Men's Health, Huffington Post, Yahoo, and so many different ones. Now, this is nothing to do with any of those. While you are doing this, Have you come across or brushed aside some of the celebrities? Any you met any celebrities that
Oh,
as
have I met any celebrities? Oh, that's really funny. When I was in
because
Hollywood,
our audience would like to know.
when I was in Hollywood, I met tons of celebrities. And it it's not a kind of moment for me because I'm just used to it, and it's so funny because I'm a member of the Magic Castle down in Hollywood. It's one of my favorite places, and there's a magician now who has a pretty successful TV show that's been running, and I forget that because you see someone on TV, you almost start to think you know them.
Yeah.
I've had people watch a bunch of my videos and then think they know me. It's
Uh-uh.
actually a little scary. And so he walked by and I said, "Hey, Michael, congrats on your show. I'm really excited for you." And he went, "Oh, thanks." And then I realized he does not know who I am. But it was like I just want people to do good things and enjoy themselves. And my husband's a wine, food, and travel writer, and he writes for the Hollywood Reporter. So we've been to some events where we've met people or seen them, and I treat them like anybody else. I got to sing karaoke with Neil Patrick Harris at the Magic Castle,
Wow.
and you treat him like anybody else. He was there, he was our president at that time, and he was enjoying himself. And there's a ghost piano player named Irma. For anybody that's been to the Magic Castle, you know about Irma. And we were all just kind of sitting there and hanging out, and she played a song we knew, and we all started to sing. And
There you
okay, we had
go.
we had fun. We're not friends. He has no idea who I am. We don't hang out. He happened to be there, and I happened to be there. So I just treat everybody the same, with respect and with kindness,
Hmm.
no matter who they are and what they do, because everybody deserves that. And I see so many, TMZ reports about, such and such celebrity fell down or such and such celebrity has an illness, and everyone thinks that's so horribly tragic, and it is. But, my husband and I picked up a homeless guy off the street the other day because he passed out with his legs out into the middle of the road.
Huh.
That's sad too.
Right.
He was drunk. He had smoked crack. We called 911 to try to get him help. To me, you help anybody you can. And if you don't want to get involved, at least call 911 as you drive by. But I really try to treat everybody the same and meet those things with the same attitude if I can.
Very good. So now the book that you wrote, do you have those books with you there or no?
I do. I can see them. They're across the room.
Across the
I
room,
should.
here is what I will do. I will play your other video while you pick it up, and
Okay.
then let's take a look at those books.
Okay.
All right, here, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. All right, Kathy is back. Kathy, all right. So we were showing one of your
One of my favorite tricks you just showed too.
yes,
So this is the alternative medicine cabinet. Let me back up so you can see that. So
yes.
this should have another sticker like right about there. I didn't get a chance to put a sticker on this one. So this was my first book, and I'm really proud of it. It was turned in. That's the one that was turned into the TV show. Conquer Your Stress. I'm actually about to go do a big lecture tomorrow, so they're all in the car getting ready to sell. But I have my second book, which is Body Mind Therapies for the Body Worker. This is really similar to Conquer Your Stress in that it covers a lot of different mind body things. But I wrote this one specifically for other practitioners because I started out as a massage therapist and I discovered that mind body connection through putting my hands on people and talking to them about their illnesses. I wrote that for practitioners. And so Conquer Your Stress, it's available on my website along with everything else. And I have a massage DVD and I'm working on my next book. So I'm really excited about that one.
Very good. Um, so what are your other hobbies? Because our audience, they not only want to know the type of work you do, they want to know what
Hmm.
the type of person you are. You already told us you are interested in rock, hip hop music.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Now,
only because I dance. I dance 4 or 5 days a week. I dance with Rhythm and Fitness here in Santa Barbara. They're phenomenal. One of the best choreographers I've ever worked with. So I do that 4 or 5 days a week, and that went back to childhood. I danced as a kid, and then after college, I kind of stopped. and I wasn't really doing much of anything for exercise. I joined multiple gyms for the purpose of not going, apparently.
Uh-huh.
And one day my husband came home and he said, "Oh, I did this interview with a winemaker, and she said she does hip hop." And I said, "What?" And he said, "You should maybe go to that class." And I thought, "Oh my God, that's for kids. I haven't danced since I was in college." And I went once, and kind of like the trapeze, I was totally hooked. So I dance
Really?
5 days, 4 or 5 days a week. I do tons of reading. Not For me, it's pleasure, but they tend to be medical books. So
Uh-huh.
people say, on what are you reading on Goodreads? And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually reading a diagnostic manual of autoimmune diseases. So it's probably nothing you're going to pick up and read. Um, I love laughing, so I love doing improv. I don't get to do it very much. I love watching improv. My husband and I are hysterical. We just walk around singing, and we have these little jokes that we do, and we've got two cats. We love our cats. I have no kids, so we look at our cats as kids. And like I said, he's a wine, food, and travel writer, so I get to have really good wine and fabulous food. And I travel when I can. I'm going to New Orleans next week for a big conference I'm speaking at, and I've been to, Europe and around the world, all around the United States, and I just want to experience things. And I encourage other people to experience as much as you can. This life is so short. As much as we've extended it, we still only have so much time.
So two things that jumped at me when you were,
Yeah.
talking about various things that interest me. The autoimmune disorders that you just
hmm
pointed out. I know that the Western medicine is suffering greatly because they don't have any real ways to solve this problem. Do you think the alternative medicine has a better solution or a better options?
I don't think it has a better solution. I think we can add to it.
Okay.
And I've done talks at both the Scleroderma Foundation and the Arthritis Foundation where they're talking a lot about rheumatoid arthritis. And a lot of the pain management techniques that I use in my practice, especially for both of those, frankly, can be really, really useful. I think with anything, we have to look at nutrition. And there was a comedian I heard the other night, and he said, "Oh, my wife wants to buy all this organic, and it's so expensive." You know what we called organic food when I was a kid? Food. And it's true. I thought about that and went, "Oh my God, that's so wise for a comedian." We didn't have to call it organic food. It was just
Just
food.
food. Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
think we need to go back to that and, get some good vitamins and minerals in us. And I think that's going to help everything across the board. So I think the complementary alternative, I think, is really great for helping the autoimmune. Acupuncture is fabulous for that. Pool therapy and getting in the water and doing exercise that way is great. I think there's so many options, and I think you just have to look and see what they are, use your head about them, and if they again sound too good to be true, they probably are. I hate to say, and try everything in your power to try to make sure you stay as healthy as you can.
So now we are almost coming to an end. This 1 hour has passed. It looks like you have your abilities in the Hollywood has helped to make the show much more interesting than what
Good.
alone I can do. Tell our audience one last time why they should use alternative medicine and what are the conditions under which they should use and how they should be careful about the people who are selling alternative medicine for their own benefit, not for the benefit of the patients. And also, just quickly tell us where they can find your books.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with that. That's the short answer. The best place to find more info about me is thealternativemedicinecabinet.com. You can sign up for my newsletter there. You can get all three of my books, plus my massage video. There's links to past interviews and lots of great free resources there. And it's thealternativemedicinecabinet.com. And as far as using alternative medicine, complementary alternative medicine, get in with a good practitioner. Make sure this is someone that you vetted, that you've got referrals from. The mainstream ones are pretty easy. It's easy to find a good chiropractor, good massage therapist, good acupuncturist. If you want to look further into some really alternative things, talk to other people that have worked with them. And go with your gut. I know we really, especially like I said, if you've been given a terminal diagnosis, we really want to do whatever we can, and we can get desperate. Don't let that cloud your logical and your practical thinking. And if it's incredibly expensive and they're making promises that sound too good, just be aware of that. I have clients that have gone through muscle testing, and then the person gives them hundreds of dollars worth of supplements for something that could be easily looked at with a blood test. Use both things, Western medicine and allopathic and alternative. Use them judiciously. Think about what you're doing and double check both of them. You can get a second opinion with your doctor and with your acupuncturist. So just use your head. I just encourage you to not get swept into the emotion of it and to just really think logically about what you're doing.
Very interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to our featured guest, Dr. Kathy Gruver. Her books, the book that she is promoting now is the Alternative Medicine Cabinet. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I appreciate you having me. Thanks so much.
All right, and Kathy, please stay on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back in a couple of minutes.